Good day, everybody. I'm going to be taking you through our solution architecture via the Technoluminaries. The overview. This document provides a detailed solution architect guide focusing on the security measures required for different components within a web application. Specifically a login page, a payment gateway, and a prediction algorithm. Additionally, it outlines the security architecture for secure telemarketing web application enhanced with AI and OS secure by design principles. The security considerations for the application layer are the input validation and sanitization, prevent SQL injection, prevent cross-siting, scripting, XSS, secure transmission issues or encryption, use HTTPS, the password security, hashing passwords, and strong password policies. Authentication and session management, secure session cookies, session expiry, account lockout, and brute force protection, which is the account lockout, whereby we implement mechanisms to lock out accounts after a certain number of failed login attempts. The capture, the multi-factor authentication, whereby we require multi-factor authentication using SMS-based codes, authenticator apps to add an additional security layer. Logging and monitoring. Audit logs, maintaining logs of login attempts to detect and investigate any suspicious activity. The example of implementing an HTTPS. The first one, we have to obtain an SSLS or TLS certificate from a trusted certificate authority. Configure your web browser to use the SS or TLS certificate. Redirect all HTTP traffic to HTTPS. The secure cookie example in JavaScript, as you can see, JavaScript document cookie, secure cookie examples in Python Flask. And for our payment gateway integration, application layer 7, as we have catered for all of the layers, as I'm going to be taking through them in a few. The functionality, integration code for the payment gateway, user interfaces for entering payment information, and business logic for processing payments. Security considerations, the presentation layer, which is our layer 6. Functionality, it manages encryption and decryption of payment data. The session layer, layer 5. Functionality, it manages sessions between the application and the payment gateway servers. The transport layer, functionality, ensures reliable data transmission using TCP. As you can see, we have catered for all of these layers to ensure that the security of our web app is top-notch. Security considerations for prediction algorithm, data privacy and encryption, input validation and sanitization, secure APIs and back-end services. API security, use API keys or other authentication mechanism to protect back-end services. The model security, AI model protection, login and monitoring. The security architecture for a secure telemarketing web application with AI for ensuring sales. This is our security architecture with the user and the HTTPS, the login, the databases, and the encryption. As you can see, it still needs to be panel beated to increase or to bring about more understanding. But so far, this is what we have. And for our database design, is we only require 4 entities, which is the companies, the users, the HR, and the admins themselves. The overview of our security management plan. The functionality. This is our overview of the security management plan diagram. And for our functionality, AI-powered custom analysis, telemarketing script guidance, call recording and transcription. The security considerations, whereby data security, AI security, desktop application security, user training, logging and monitoring. Benefits, increase sales efficiency, improve customer experience, enhance data security. For our solutions architect, secure telemarketing web app with AI architecture diagram, whereby you have an actor them, you have the admin layer, the presentation layer, the application layer, the data layer, the network layer, and the security layer. And you can see with all the data flows. The legend, the box, it represents a system component. A cylinder represents data addressed, an arrow represents the data flow. The components, a user interface, web application for telemarketing staff, AI model, analyzes customer data for lead Scoring, CRM system, stores customer data, data warehouse, stores historical data for AI training and analysis. Security, integration and event management, aggregates logs for security analysis. Database encrypted, it stores customer data securely. For our data flows, the customer data, the data for lead storing, lead scoring, script guidance, call recording with consent, call transcript, application logs, the security controls, data minimization, data encryption, access control, data bias detection, explainable AI, adversarial attack prevention, secure coding practices, list privileges, automatic updates, user training, logging and monitoring, penetration testing, user privacy. Benefits: enhance security, improve sales efficiency, transparency, and trust. Responsible AI. Now, in conclusion, this solutions architecture document highlights industry standards and best practices while outlining a thorough method for protecting different web application components. We protect the integrity and confidentiality of our sensitive data by putting strong security mechanisms in place at every stage, from the transport and session management layers to the application and the presentation layers. Now, for our key highlights, we had to include the application layer security to safeguard the user authentication and session management. Strict password policies, secure transmission, and robust input validation are used. For the payment gateway integration, as we know, money is a bit sensitive, so encryption and secure session management are used to handle payment data securely. Prediction algorithm security, ensuring safe API interactions, protecting models, and protecting sensitive data. Web architecture for telemarketing, using AI to improve functionality while upholding stringent security measures and customer privacy. Moving forward, upholding and strengthening the security architecture will depend heavily on our ongoing observation, the frequent upgrades, and user education. In addition to reducing risk, this proactive strategy places the application in a scalable and adaptive manner within a constantly changing threat scenario. Our goal is to provide a safe, dependable, and effective solution that satisfies the organization's and its users' present and future demands by abiding these next steps and best practices. Thank you for your time.
Greetings. Today I'll be showing you our app in terms of what we've done so far, what we've been able to accomplish, what we haven't been able to accomplish, and maybe why haven't we been able to complete our objectives. I'll also discuss the lessons we've learned. I think that's it. Okay, so this is our app. Welcome to Smart Sale AI. It's a web-based application. It's a solution for Icon AF. They've requested that we develop a prediction-based algorithm for their call center company. This way they'll be able to cut down the number of calls they make and overall increase the likelihood of clients buying into their product that they're trying to sell. Okay, so what we've done here is just a simple landing page, and it registers whether you're not, it picks up whether the user is not logged in yet, so it will prompt you to log in. There's a top nav bar with a login link, a register, and an about. But yeah, I'll just click here. It takes you to a login screen. The login screen, if you just click on it, it will say please provide a correct username. Let's do that. I'll provide the user num1. Say I don't enter a password, it will pick out that you haven't entered a password. So I enter my password. You're able to see what you've entered, so you can see I haven't really spelled password correctly here. It will tell me that you have an invalid password, so let me enter the correct password. Yes, that's the correct password, and I can log into the page. Okay, so we haven't really gotten this far yet, but the plan is on the home screen the user will be able to inject a dataset into our application, feed it into the algorithm. The algorithm will do its thing and return a new dataset of potential clients. Once the algorithm returns a new dataset of potential clients, it will route itself to the dashboard for the user. Again, we haven't gotten this far, but this is just a basic template of how we plan to display certain pieces of information. But the main point is that the user will have a data set of outline potential clients, and then they'll take this data set and pass it to their dialer. There's also a settings page, but again, we haven't gotten this far, so it just leads you back to the home page. It also registers who's logged in and yeah, just who's logged in. So say now I want to log out and log in as an administrator this time. Again, it follows the same principle. If you don't enter certain things, or if you enter specific things the wrong way, you're able to check. Okay, now it's the username that I'm missing. I click on that, I log in. Okay, now I have access as an administrator. Yes, again, we haven't gone this far, but the idea is that on the administrator side, they'll be able to see the current session of who's logged in, what they're doing, what time did they log in, what time did they log out. On the dashboard, we're going to change this to be something else in terms of, okay, yes, hi, my name is James, but you'll be able to add users, delete users, and yes, all this other stuff. So yeah, again, settings page. Here we'll probably display something that shows live data of the current users that are logged in. Okay, I log out and say, okay, I don't have a username, I don't have a password, I'm a new client, I'm a new company, and I want to register. I click on the register and it takes me to the register page. Once you get to the register page, you'll enter your company number, the expected number of users, the card number, the cardholder name, and all this, and you click register. Currently, we're facing challenges in terms of linking our user account database with our company database and the correlation between the two. So the register page still hasn't had any functionality, and that is the current challenge that we're facing and what we're aiming to resolve. Only once we have fixed this problem will we be able to move on to actually training the AI, implementing it so that it feeds information back to the dashboard of the prospective user or admin. But yes, this is what we've done so far, and like I said, we're still dealing with the onboarding process, so logging in, registering. Once that's done, we'll be able to move into actually training the algorithm itself, actually developing a proper interface in terms of user dashboard and admin dashboard. But it does separate the two in terms of, if you're an admin, you shouldn't be able to see what a user can see. So I don't know if you noticed, but there is one side tab that's missing for the user. So here we're logged in as James, and you can see I have 4 side tabs, right? But if I log in as a user, so this time I log in as user num 2, I say dummy password for now, and I log in. Yes, as you can see, so there's certain tabs that a user will have that an admin won't have, and vice versa. There's certain tabs that an admin will have that the user won't have. Next, I'll be taking you through our code. Okay, welcome to our code. So I'll just start at the very top, the root, and in the root we have a bunch of folders: Bootstrap, CSS just shows our styling for some of our pages, the images that we used in making of our app, right? I think you saw this in the previous video, but in the previous section, the pictures that we used in our dashboards, some JavaScript, and here, these are still hard-coded values, but ideally this will be in charts that the user will be able to see and they'll be able to use to make informed decisions. The point system as well, right? Again, we come to our components, the assets, the images, section again, the logos. We have our layout here, our main layout. Okay, and this is what you saw, the top navigation bar, which has our about, login and logouts, as well as the register. And then based on whether or not you've been authorized or not authorized, you'll see different versions of the nav bar. So if you're not authorized, obviously you'll be prompted to log in, and also you'll obviously see the about us. This is the one that stays consistent whether you're authorized or not authorized. And if you're not authorized, it gives you the option of the register page, right? And how we do all this is through our authentication provider. And yeah, this is our if statement to check whether or not the person is authenticated or not. Okay, then we have our nav menu. So this will be all the side tabs that you'll be able to click on, and when you click on them, they'll show you a different page. So yeah, this is the very top, our prediction web app. Keep in mind all this is subject to change. Mainly we just want to focus on the core functionality just here, to making sure that when you click on a certain page, you receive that page. So yes, we have the home page, we have the dashboard, we have the weather. And how it works is based on how we register you as an administrator or a user, you'll be able to see certain pages. So here the administrator and the user both have access to the dashboard, but when we actually code the dashboard, you see different versions of the dashboard essentially. So I'll show you the code for that later on, but yeah. For the weather, you have the administrator. Keep in mind, for the weather we did say that it would be changed to live data, but for now it's just weather because we haven't gotten that far yet. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Next are the pages, the account page. So this mainly deals with the login, logout, register, and access denied. For the access denied, if the user should somehow find themselves in a page that was mainly designed for the administrator, they would see this page for access denied, which just mainly outlines that they don't have permission to access this page. They then be prompted to click back, but yeah, we haven't gotten this far yet. For the login, this is our code for the login page. We call different namespaces like the view models. The view model handles our login view model and register view model. The data handles our connection to the database and querying the database. Our claims, authentication, and authentication cookies all have to do with separating the sessions of the administrator and the user. Okay, this is our style section. These are images that we want to use for the specific login page. This is the design of the login page itself. The edit form and the data annotation validator are built-in methods that we use to validate the information that's passed to the form. That way we don't have to hard code everything. And the cascading parameter, we use this attribute to pass values to the view model. The supply parameter from form attributes and the model property will be used to pass the input values to the model property when the form is submitted. Then we have our authenticate method, which handles the user authentication and is used to first check the values passed. So first we check the values that are passed to let's say the database, and then we separate access to either user interface or admin interface using cookies. And the claims, this is how we pass the values. So yes, and then if everything's successful, they'll be navigated to the home page. Okay, the logout is basically okay, you've successfully logged out, and all the different functions that go with it. The register, again, this is our register page. Yeah, the different namespaces, the AppDB context, this is our class, and then the navigation manager to navigate between the different pages. the style section, and again we have the edits form and the data annotations validator. Yes, again they do the same thing in terms of they validate the form for us. This way we don't have to hard code everything. And our register view model, again this is so it creates for each value that you pass within the form, the company name, the expected users, the card number, we call the register view model, and we create a new instance of that register view model, and then we'll pass these values to each parameter of the instance of the class, or an object of the class. But yes, again we commented this section out because it's a bit buggy. So if I uncomment it out, you will see all the errors that we have thus far, and this is what we're working on. This has been a big challenge for us, but we will overcome. So yes, the charts, I'm sorry, this is how we pulled our charts. The counter, again this is all hard coded for now until we will be able to pass the data. Yes, potential clients, again hard coded. High and potential clients all have been hard coded data. The weather, which is the weather is built in for now, but this will be how we track live data of the users for the admin side. Then we have our imports, everything that we've been imported to use within our app, such as authentication, components, JS, interprop, http.json, forms, routing, web, all this stuff. Okay, and then we have our app itself. It's basic code. Okay, and then we have our app DB context. Again, we have our user account instance for our user account and instance for our company. This is what's called whenever a user wishes to enter their information or wishes to register. Then we have our entities, obviously like I've said, our company and all the different information for our company, like our company's class, right? And our users and our user account class, again all the different properties that will be entered and their role. This is how we separate between admin and user. Very important, but this is handled on our side whenever a company wishes to register. So on our side we will be the admins, and then on their side they'll be the user, and then most importantly they will have a super user within. Usually this will be the first person, but the company will have one super user and the rest will just be standard users. The super user will be how they send requests to us if they want us to change the number of users, or if they no longer wish to use our platform. Then yes, our login view model. So you are required to enter username and password and the corresponding error message that they get if they don't do this. And our register view model. So yes, again for company name, expected users, it can't be 0. So here we enter a range. Credit card, card holder name, expiration dates, and CVV. So CVV has to be a number, so between 0 and 9, and it has to be 3 digits, and if not they'll get the error. So yes, that has been our code. This is how we connect to the database, the connection string, and then it connects to a MySQL database. Yes, I think that's everything for the program. Oh yeah, so for the services that we use, again, add DB context, cascading authentication. So cascading authentication is how we pass values down between the different pages. So if you start at login, right, so you log in, you put all your information, and from all the information that you put in, you should be able to see, like you saw in the first video, or the first half of the video, the user, their name. So if you said user 1 is your username, or you said James is your username, you'll be able to see that within the home page once you've logged in. And all of this is done through cascading. So this is how we pass data all the way down to separate pages. Again, authentication, how we authenticate the user, make sure that the information you've entered is correct or corresponding with our database. And I think the rest we came as it is. We mainly added this section. Yeah, I think that's mainly it. Oh, sorry, and the cookies. Again, this is how we check whether or not you are who you say you are, and if you are, you'll be able to log in. If not, you'll get the access denied. But we are receiving an error or a bug with this one where it doesn't route the person to the access denied section. But yes, thank you very much. This has been our video. And yes, hopefully by the next sprint we're able to show the algorithm in its early stages. In terms of actually returning information and fact checking whether that information is actually relevant. So most likely we will pass this, we will have a testing phase where the user will be able to enter their database, their data set of clients. We return a new data set of potential clients, and then they actually pass this to their dialer and tell us, okay, it was 20% accurate, 30% accurate, 40% accurate, and then from there we make revisions. But yes, thank you very much.